Hi friends, it's Miss Selena again, and today we are going to talk about stage makeup for our upcoming recital. Now for the recital, stage makeup is required of all dancers age 6 and up, so our beginner through advanced levels. It is optional but recommended for our pre-ballet and pre-tap classes, so our 4 and 5-year-olds. Now before you think, oh my gosh, I'm not comfortable putting makeup on my little kid, the purpose of stage makeup is not to make your child look like a tiny adult, like pageant makeup is. The purpose of stage makeup is just to enhance their natural beauty and bring out their facial features so that it is visible on stage with the bright stage lights. So we are going to start with our beginner stage makeup today. So you are going to need blush, whatever color works on your skin tone and everything. You're gonna need blush and mascara. There you go. And I also am going to put on a foundation today because I am then going to be building upon this to show the advanced version. But for your beginner dancer, you don't need to put any foundation on them. Their skin is usually like very, very clear. If they want extra makeup and you want to put a little powder or a little bit something on them, by all means go ahead. But you definitely do not have to foundation your 6-year-old. So I'm gonna start with my foundation today. Most of the products that I'm using are Arbonne brand. I really love them. They're all clean, really natural, gluten-free, vegan, not tested on animals. So I really think it's good for my skin. So this is a skin tint that I'm going to be using today. Ooh, you can't see that at all. But it's just a really light foundation, and I like it because it doesn't feel cakey even if you sweat and stuff, and it doesn't kind of settle into my pores like some of my powder foundations do. So this one is really simple. You can do it with like a beauty blender or a brush or your hands. I'm going to use my little blender today, but we're just going to put our foundation on. Whoops. Here we go, put some foundation on you. Okay, and we're just gonna lightly go all over. If you have like a primer or anything that you like to use, go ahead, do that. I always like to do really good skincare when I am doing stage makeup because it can just dry you out sometimes if you're not used to that. So I try to do really good moisturizer. If you wanna do primer or anything, go for it. I didn't do that today. I also really like to put on some chapstick earlier in the day because your lips can get really dried out with the lipstick. So remember, lipstick is drying. We want our face to be moisturized before we put our things on it. And again, this particular foundation that I'm using has like moisturizers and skincare and stuff in it, so it's really nice for that. All right, so remember, we want that to be as close to our skin tone as possible when we're doing foundation for stage. You never want to use bronzer as a foundation because it's gonna make you look dirty because it doesn't match the rest of your skin from the stage. So now that we've got our foundation on, see, nice and clear. It's super light, but it just kind of smooths everything out. If you have like spots or anything and you want to use concealer or anything like that, you can do that. I sometimes put concealer under my eyes where my dark spots are. This would obviously be for older dancers. Small children don't have dark spots. Okay, so we're gonna do that. I'm gonna let this just absorb for half a moment because I learned when I put blush right on top of it, if it's not fully dried, then it like goes on really, really dark, which is fine for stage, but not excellent for every day. So we've got our foundation on, and or your kid is not wearing foundation, and so this is where we're gonna start. So pick out whatever blush you want. This is what I use for stage. It's a little bit pinker than I would wear in every day, but a pink, red blush, whatever works with your skin tone is what you're gonna use. Just a little bit. You can either have your kid suck their cheeks in or smile. Your choice. I kind of do both, but you're gonna start with a smile and then get just the apples of your cheeks, just a little bit. Remember, like with any makeup, and many of you are familiar with doing makeup on yourselves, you can always build, but it's really hard to take too much to take it off if you have too much on. So I kind of like to start light. This is on our cheekbones to give you that nice little look. Now, if you're putting this on a little kid, you're only gonna want a little bit. If you're a more advanced dancer, you are gonna want it to be pretty heavy. Not so much that you look like a clown, but it is heavier than you would wear for everyday makeup. So just remembering that. So we did our blush. I'm gonna do a little bit of highlighter. This is where you could highlight, contour, do whatever it is that you do. I'm just doing a little bit of highlighter. I just go right above the blush, a little bit on my nose, a little bit on my chin. Not too much. If you were gonna contour, you would do contouring under your blush. You can do around your chin. For stage, contouring your chin is a really nice thing to do. Up close, it's kind of silly. It looks like you just gave yourself like a chin strap beard, but it really does help, especially if you have a rounder face like I do, it helps shape that. Also, if your dancer has very, very blonde hair, like if they're super light complected with that really white blonde fine hair, you're gonna wanna take a little bit of your blush and just go around their hairline. Again, I'm not doing much because I also don't wanna look crazy when I teach in this later. But you're just gonna do a little bit of blush, right, blending into their hairline, and all that does from stage is make them not look bald. So it gives them that little bit of definition between their face and their hair so that we can see that they have a face and they have hair, and it's not just blending into one under the lights. So I'm gonna do my highlighter here, and I just got this one from a little Ipsy bag, but this part is optional. Just a little bit there, just to kind of bring that extra little shine. Now we don't want any makeup with like sparkles in it, but a little bit of shine is okay. Keeping in mind, if you're someone who gets particularly sweaty, you may not want to use highlighter because you are going to get shiny naturally as you perform. Okay, so we've got our base, our skin done. So for an advanced or an intermediate dancer, it would be our foundation, blush, any highlighting or contouring that you would want to do. For a beginner dancer, it's just our blush, maybe a little bit of like light powder or something, but we've just got our face done for now. So the next part is our mascara. So this may not be the order that you would do it if you're advanced and you're putting on your full face, but I'm gonna do mascara and show the beginner level first, and then we'll build upon that to show intermediate and advanced. So I really love the Arbonne Speaks Volumes mascara. It's very nice. It doesn't flake under my eyes, and I'm someone that like touches my face all the time. So that's why I really like it. When you're putting mascara on a child, sometimes it's really hard, so you can just have them kind of look up and blink. Sometimes that is easier, but we just want to get a little bit so that we see we have our eyelashes, right? If you are intermediate, you're gonna wanna put on probably 2 coats of mascara so that it's pretty thick looking. If you're advanced, you can just do a little bit since you're gonna be putting on fake eyelashes afterwards. So you've got there. Obviously, like if you have clumps or whatever, you can fix that. Another thing that always happens to me because I have really long eyelashes is it gets like up here. So you can always, while it's not fully dry, just kind of smudge that off. So that you don't have like black dots on your eyelids. All right. I always make sure that we also do the bottom lashes. I know sometimes we don't do those for every day, but it really does help, especially if you're not wearing eyeliner. It helps to differentiate between like your eyes and the rest of your face. So I've got my mascara on now. So I've got blush, mascara, and then for my beginner dancers, our last step is going to be either a pink lipstick or a lip gloss. I'm gonna put on this lip gloss today. This is a little bit more neutral than I would wear on stage. This is one that I just like in my everyday life. Again, it's an Arbonne one. Oh, you can't see that. That's fine. But they also make one that is like a really nice stage pink. And it's called, I believe, Primrose. So if you're looking for any of these products that I'm using, I'll put them in a link below, or you can just email me, talk to me, and I can point you in the right direction. But I'm gonna put on my pink lipstick or lip gloss. I'm doing lip gloss truly because I just hate pink lipstick on me. It doesn't work. So a little bit of lip gloss. Again, we want a little bit of tone to it. We don't want it to be like totally clear because again, we want it to bring out our lips. Rub it together. One thing you can do, especially if your kid is like, put the lipstick on very, very, very last. And then the last thing I do, and I'll show this again with the lipstick, is once you put it on, you're gonna take your finger, and it seems really weird, but it works. You're gonna put it in your mouth and pull it out, like that. And that gets any lipstick that's on the inside of your lips that would get on your teeth when you smile, because we don't want lipstick teeth. So what I've got right now is our beginner face of makeup. So I've got my pink lipstick or lip gloss. I've got a little bit of blush, and I've got my mascara. I also have on foundation and some highlighter, which is optional, but you totally don't need to do that on a little kid. So this is where we're at for our like 6 to 8 year olds, roughly, if you're in a beginner class. And if you are a pre-ballet, pre-tap person, if you are wanting to do makeup, this would be the makeup that you're going to do. Or any version of it. Again, with the 4 to 5 year olds, if you're not comfortable putting makeup on your kid, that's okay. So now we're gonna add on to this and make our intermediate face. So I've already got all of this intermediate. If you guys want to do the highlight and the contour, you are welcome to. The things that we are going to add is going to be some eyeliner. We're gonna do a top eyeliner. You can do bottom eyeliner if you want, but definitely we're gonna add a top eyeliner, and we're going to add some eyeshadow, and we're gonna switch to a lipstick rather than a lip gloss. So I am going to do my eyeliner first. So again, this is an Arbonne one. It's a little like super easy pencil. I personally cannot use liquid eyeliner unless I'm like drawing on my face for Halloween. You can use whatever eyeliner you want. We want to make sure that it's like a dark brown or a black for stage. We don't want like a colored or one that has sparkles or anything in it. So I'm going to, let's see if I can do this in my phone camera. I always pull my eye out a little bit. Start from the outside. Again, some little kids, their eyes move a lot, so just try to be as smooth as you can. Remember, you can always smudge it, plus your eyeshadow is gonna cover it a little bit. I promise I'm not bad at this eyeliner like normally. I'm just trying to do it in this little video, and it's hard. Okay. So that's not too horrible. It's a little bit bad, but it'll be fine. So you don't have to do any like crazy wings or anything with it. If you want to, if you're feeling creative, go for it. But we just need like the basics here. So I'm missing a little bit. And also, if you're an advanced dancer, you can get away with no top eyeliner if you use black eyelash glue. We'll get to that later, but you can get away with like no top eyeliner and do dark lash glue if you're wearing fake lashes. So we're gonna get the other side now. That side always seems to go a little better. Make sure that you're getting it really down to where your lashes meet your face, so that it's really smooth. And like I said, you can always kind of smudge it out. I end up doing that if I like make a mistake or whatever, just kind of rub it off. Okay, cool. That one's a little darker, but that's okay. So we've got our eyeliner now. Again, it doesn't need to be crazy, just again to emphasize that top of your eye, the base of your lashes. So you're also going to do a second coat of mascara. I'm not going to do that today, but you would do thicker mascara to go with our eyeliner. And then we're going to do our eyeshadow. So eyeshadow for stage, I prefer like a neutral color, so in the range of browns. They can have a little bit of like shimmer to it, but we don't want anything that has glitter, right? No glitter makeup. If you are fair-skinned like I am, we're gonna go for like a medium to darker brown so that it contrasts my skin. If you have a darker complexion, then you're gonna wanna go for a medium to lighter brown, again, so that it has that contrast. We do not want our eyes to look like black holes on stage. So you want it to be different enough that it's just bringing out your eyes and not enough that it's gonna like darken them out and just make them look black and horrible. So again, I've got my little palette here. This one's really great for stage because it has a lot of those neutrals. This top one looks really green in the video, but it's kind of brownish. So there we go. So I usually do a lighter one up towards my eyebrows, just to kind of highlight under my eyebrow arch, which actually I didn't fix. So if you have unruly eyebrows like me, you're gonna wanna fix them. Just use a little comb. You can also use like the eyebrow gel. I don't do that, I just kind of comb it. If you have very light eyebrows, again, if you're that super light blonde, you are gonna wanna use just a little bit of eyebrow pencil, not to look crazy, but again, just so we can see that you have eyebrows on stage. Like if my eyebrows were any lighter, I would do that 100%. Mine are pretty much dark enough that they work for stage without extra, but every once in a while I will fill them in like if they're looking kind of funky. So we're gonna do our eyeshadow now. I always start with the light one and then work my way to dark and then blend it, just so that way I'm not getting my brush really dirty. So we're gonna start with this light one. We're gonna go up here, just a little bit there. This is actually a brand new palette that I just got, and it's so exciting because I haven't actually tried it on me yet. So we're gonna see this together. So I've got my little bit of, again, I just kind of lighten like right by my brow bone. And then we're going to do from the inner eye out, light to dark, light to dark. So again, it's opening our eyes. It's not like blackening them out. So I'm going to do, let's do a little bit of this. This rose, let's try this one. Put it on the inside. That might not be dark enough. Yeah, that one's not dark enough. Let's try this one. Yeah, that looks better. A little bit on the inner eye. I do about like half of my eyelid. And again, if it gets like into a weird spot, you can kind of just like wipe it off. Ooh, that's really pretty. Okay, so we got that. And then we're gonna do our outer half, which I'm gonna use this one that looks very sparkly and very pretty. Ooh, that's really pretty. We're gonna go out here. I always go a little bit past my eye, just kind of onto my, again, onto my brow bone, just a little bit. This one up top is kind of the wrong shade. And then we're gonna blend it. So note to self, the one I used on the top is a little bit of a funky shade to go with this, so we're gonna make that a pinkier one. Yeah, there we go. And again, these are looking very like orange in this video, but I promise you when I look in the mirror in real life, it's like a really beautiful brown. So we're gonna go with that today. And then you can kind of blend it all out so that there's no like line in the middle of your eye. So we've got our eyeshadow. See, from a distance, it looks really nice. Up close, my eyeshadow never looks good. I am just not that great at it. Kind of blend out this top part a little, smudge it. But from a distance, it always looks fine. So we've got our eyeshadow there. And then, again, this is for my intermediate friends. At this point, you've got your eyes done. If you want to do a bottom eyeliner, you're welcome to. If you want to put on fake eyelashes, you're welcome to, but you do not have to. So we've got our blush. Again, probably a little heavier than I'm wearing right now. We'll darken that just a bit. Yep, blush, eyes, heavy mascara, and we're going to do a lipstick, either a pink or a red. Personally, I really love a good red lipstick. If you find the right shade, it'll be your one forever. Like my favorite is this MAC one. I literally bought this at Marshall's, so like, I don't know how old it is. The color is Ladybug, but it goes on really, really beautifully. And it stays really, really nice. It doesn't fade too quickly. It doesn't like smudge. I've tried so many lipsticks, the cheap ones from like the, Walgreens or whatever. The cheaper ones, they fade very quickly, they come off, they rub on everything, they get on your teeth, they look cheap. So I try to do something that's a little bit better quality. I just like to put that on my face. We don't want any brown lipsticks, but again, you can find a shade that works for your skin tone, that works for you. So now for my advanced dancers and my company dancers. So if you're advanced or if you are a female dancer in company, I'll talk about men in a minute. You would add your fake eyelashes. I'm not doing that today. Nobody wants to watch me put on fake eyelashes on camera. Fake eyelashes, they don't need to be the crazy ones. Just a little bit is fine, just like the basic fake eyelash. You're gonna do a bottom eyeliner. So you can either do on your waterline or right underneath your lashes. That's your choice. You're gonna do a bottom liner and you are going to do your lipstick. So we've got our lipstick here. If you wanna do a lip liner, that's fine. But we've got our lipstick. Again, you kind of just, and then if it gets on your face, you can kind of wipe it off. We do our little, see, and that got all of the lipstick that would have got on my teeth. So my face plus bottom liner and lashes is our advanced and company dancer makeup. Now, for boys who are not in company, you are not required to do any stage makeup at all. If you would like to do some, I usually recommend just a little bit of blush, like in a brownish tone. You're not gonna want the pink, and some mascara, and maybe like a chapstick or something, just to bring some focus to your lips without it being like red lip. For my company boys, you guys will need, you have the option of foundation if you feel that your skin needs it, a neutral colored blush, definitely mascara, and a neutral colored lip. If you want to do any more than that, feel free to experiment. If you have questions about that, we can talk about it, depending what your comfort level is. But the only thing that you're required is just a little bit of blush on your cheeks, a little bit of chapstick or something, and then a little bit of mascara, just again, so that we can see that you have eyes and so that you don't look so washed out next to all the company girls who will have full everything. So, like I said, I will link some of the products that I use below if you want to try those out or look at them. If not, that's totally fine. Feel free to use whatever it is that you're comfortable with. I just really love using products that are like clean and healthy and good for me and good for the planet. So that's why I just talk about those so much. But if you have any questions about stage makeup or anything like that, feel free to shoot me an email, find me between classes, or just talk to me and we can figure all the things out for your dancer. So good luck with your recital stage makeup and with your recital hair, and have a great day.